Okay, let's dive into one of the biggest questions in science. Is life actually possible without water? How we answer that really changes everything. So first, we're going to break down why water is so incredibly central to life as we know it. Then, we'll explore the really mind-bending possibility that, the universe might just have other plans. And listen, this is so much more than just a thought experiment. The answer to this question literally shapes our entire search for life in the cosmos. It determines where we look, what we look for, and it raises the fascinating question of whether we might be missing something truly alien right under our noses. Because here on our planet, the answer is an absolutely resounding no. From the deepest, darkest ocean trenches to the highest clouds in the sky, life is a completely water-based phenomenon. There isn't a single known exception. Every living thing we've ever discovered is fundamentally tied to H2O. But that brings us to a really crucial question. If we assume all life out there must be like ours, are we kind of suffering from a form of planetary chauvinism? I mean, think about it. We're basing our entire cosmic search on just one data point, our own planet, Earth. So, before we can even start to imagine life without water, we have to really understand why it's considered so indispensable in the first place. So let's start by building the case for why water is the gold standard for life. Think of it this way. Our biology didn't just adapt to water. It was fundamentally shaped by it over billions of years. Our cells, our DNA, our proteins, you could almost say they're all masterpieces that co-evolved right alongside water. And that relationship is incredibly intimate. In fact, for some organisms, water can make up to 90% of their body. It's not just something that's in them. In a lot of ways, it is them. It's the very matrix of their existence. So, what is it that makes this simple little molecule so special? Why does this one combination of an oxygen atom and two hydrogen atoms work so perfectly for building something as complex and dynamic as life? Well, water's real magic lies in how all of its key properties work together. This isn't just some random list of good traits. They form this interlocking system that creates the absolute perfect stage for life. Polarity is probably water's greatest superpower. Because of its shape, the molecule has a slightly negative end and a slightly positive end, so it acts like a tiny magnet. This stickiness allows it to just pry apart other molecules, dissolving all the salts and sugars needed to create that rich chemical soup inside every cell. And then there's its density. This is so weird, but so important. Almost every other substance gets denser when it freezes, but water expands. And because ice is less dense, it floats. This is critical because it insulates the liquid water below it, allowing entire aquatic ecosystems to survive the winter. If ice sank, our oceans could have just frozen solid from the bottom up. And water isn't just a passive background liquid either. It's a core player in the chemical reactions that power our entire planet. I mean, in photosynthesis, water molecules are literally ripped apart to help build organic matter and release the oxygen we breathe. So the case for water is incredibly strong, no doubt about it. But this perfect picture, well, it gets a lot more complicated when we start to think beyond our own world. This powerful idea really challenges us to think outside our own experience. Just because water was the solution for life here, does that automatically mean it's the only solution anywhere else in the vastness of the cosmos? The key here is to separate the job from the tool that does the job. Water is a fantastic tool for dissolving things, for stabilizing temperature, for helping reactions happen. But could another tool do a similar job on a world that's completely different from ours? Okay, so let's do it. Let's explore some of the leading candidates for an alternative to water. Scientists have seriously considered what other liquids might be able to host life on worlds that are way colder or just plain stranger than Earth. So let's compare the contenders. You have ammonia, which, like water, is polar, so that's promising for dissolving stuff. But look at its liquid range. It exists at much, much colder temperatures. Then you've got methane, which is even more extreme. It's nonpolar and it's frigid. It creates a truly alien chemical environment where our kind of biology would just completely fall apart. And this is not science fiction. Scientists are designing real missions, like the Dragonfly mission, to go explore this very possibility on Saturn's moon Titan. Life there would be totally different, maybe with cell membranes made of nitrogen compounds, and a metabolism that breathes in hydrogel instead of oxygen. It's wild. But imagining life without water isn't as easy as just swapping one liquid for another. It reveals a problem of just staggering complexity that we really have to confront. The real challenge is that all the pieces of life have to fit together perfectly. The cell membrane, the genetic material, the enzymes, everything has to be designed to work in that new solvent. You can't just drop Earth-style DNA into a lake of liquid methane and expect anything to happen. This really lays out the sheer scale of that challenge. For life to emerge, you need to solve all four of these interconnected problems basically at the same time. On Earth, water's unique properties helped all of that click into place. Finding another system where everything works together so perfectly, well, that's the real needle in the cosmic haystack. This whole thought process, it brings us to a really profound shift in how we're searching for life, moving beyond our own Earth-centric biases and really opening our minds up to new ideas. We're now starting to look for signs of complex chemical systems in general. We're looking for places with energy and the raw materials for complexity wherever and in whatever liquid they might exist. It's a much more open-minded approach. And ultimately, this is the big takeaway. Life is a process, right? It's a self-sustaining chemical system that's capable of evolution. That process is the principle. The specific materials, the substrate, like water and carbon, that might just be one way to achieve it. And that's really the question we're left with. It's a question that reminds us to stay humble and to stay curious, and to always remember that the cosmos may be far more creative and far more surprising than we can possibly imagine.